the little Q&A box, and we will either answer them in the moment if it kind of pertains to what we're talking about, or I'll get to it at the end of the chat. So just ask away and we'll get to it at some point. So I want to chat about networking today, and I feel like I have some other topics that I might touch on depending on where the conversation goes. But I just kind of want to start off with a very general question for all of you, which is, do you think networking is an important part of our business being the theater community? And if so, why do you think it's an important part of what we do? Jason, do you want to start us off?
I would love to.
Great.
I think definitely networking is one of the most important parts other than talent, but I think we are all our own personal brand, right? Everyone is self-employed, so we have to find our own work, unless like you have an agent, but in Vancouver, that's like, not everyone has a theater agent, so it's a kind of different climate here. Networking, for me at least, has given me like half my jobs in theater, so I think it's extremely important. Big fan of networking. Excited to talk about it.
Fantastic. I can't wait to hear more of your thoughts. And I think even if you have an agent, you're still selling yourself. So
yeah.
Monice, do you want to jump in there?
Sure. I'm trying to think of this as like I'm trying to remember even what I do in terms of the networking process. So I'm like, what do I even do? Like, is it the old thing where you go to parties and you network that way? Or is it like you send out your postcards, nobody does that anymore? Like what?
All of the above.
All of the above. I'm like, what do you do? I think what's important is working with directors or artists or whatever who then pass my name along, like that type of networking. Yes, I guess I think that's what you do. It's no matter what it looks like, because as I said, I'm thinking about it in the past where you have to go to a party and you schmooze or something like that. That's what they always say. But I think there's other things that you can do, and other people can network for you or can talk on your behalf so that you can get hired. But yeah, so yes, I think yes is the answer.
Right. I love it. Yeah, we're like, it's been so long since I've been in a room full of people. I don't know what that's like anymore. Sia, thoughts? You're muted.
Ha! The Zoom theme. I was just saying that I think it is, and I also think that networking is such a broad term. It can mean anything for anyone. Networking can be the fact that I met someone at a party and we connect and we start to write a play together. That's a form of networking. Or just, you see a play and you meet someone at the theater. So it's just like, it's very broad. It is what works for you and what you need. And, but I think it's, I think it's very important.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the opening night gala, the agency Christmas party, like all of those sorts of things where you're at, feels like very distant past, but where you're at an event that, hopefully it has the opportunity to network. What do you feel like, how do you conduct yourself in those kind of settings? Because I know for a lot of people it can be kind of a stressful, like anxious situation. So what do you think, like, how do you conduct yourself, and what are some things that you think are like maybe like do's and don'ts kind of in the gala big group networking situation? Let's just go in the same order. Jason?
I mean, I think opening nights suck, first of all. I think that the conversations that you typically have, if you're not the most skilled networker, all suck. So when you're talking to maybe like another theater actor or like a director, the conversation kind of goes like this and goes, "Oh my goodness, hi, nice to see you. What show are you working on right now?" Wall. And that is awful. So I think you really have to like turn it on its head and go in at it with like, if I'm going to go into a conversation, I'm going to talk about anything other than theater, because I think like to have an actual human connection versus just a business connection is what is going to set you apart from every other conversation they have that night. And they won't the entire time just be like looking at the next person they're going to talk to after that conversation if you want to have a real one with them. So I think like that's like one way to kind of get over the grossness of an opening night. If you're at like an agency Christmas party, then just party. Don't go there to like network. The networking is me showing up and me having actual conversations with people that aren't just about my job. Yeah, that's kind of like my opinion.
Be a real human? Jason.
I know.
Okay, all right. Have more going on in your life other than the next gig? Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like
I
other
like
things
it.
exist. It's
All
like I have
right.
hobbies. Yeah.
Hobbies. Ooh. All right, cool. Moniz.
Yeah, wow. Like I really am trying to go back into my mind and remember all of these things and that were told to us in school to do. And I'm like, did any of those things work? The only thing I can think of really is like a structured networking atmosphere. So like there's this thing in Alberta called Emerge, where all of the school, so they audition in Calgary and Edmonton, and basically all of the schools, all of the theater companies come to a theater and watch all of the graduates audition, and then there's a little party afterwards. That's like the only example that I can think of that is specifically for do your party piece, go network. Like that's what you're supposed to do. I can't think of like, I don't know why. Maybe somebody has been successful networking and like getting a job on opening night at a gala. I don't know. I haven't that I know of. I think the test is in asking the other party, did it work? And I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think. What was the question again?
Just like specifically like at that Emerge conference or whatever it is, like how would you sort of conduct yourself in an ideal world / like what do you think is like a good way to go about attending one of those or whatever?
The thing is too is that you as the actor or me as the actor, I have agency and power too. So I'm not going to talk to everybody because I might not want to work with everybody. So if I really want to work with a company that does X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to approach them and talk about that and for that specific event too, because that's what it's all about. Or if I go to their shows, like I often go to their shows or I often reach out to them. Just not that I'm going to get the job right away or even that I'm interested in the job. Maybe I'm just interested in the company and wanting to like support them in any way that I can. And then that might lead to a job. But yeah, I think it's like giving myself as the actor the power to go to whomever I want to approach, and not that it's the other way around where they're, all behind a desk and I have to like fight for my right to get a job or something like that. Human connection, and if you enjoy this company, like why not? Or that person.
Yeah, for sure. I have a thought. I'm going to put a pin in it, but Sia, take it away. You're muted.
Guys, this morning has been.
It's Friday.
I think something is in retrograde or something. I don't know. I don't believe. Yeah, something is happening. there's some retro going on here. So do your research. I've been blessed to do a lot of networking, more so when it comes to TV than theater, but even when it comes to theater, at the end of the day, it's a mixture of both. I think do your homework, know the people who you want to talk to, because what happens with networking is you go and you're like, blah, 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 or you're like nervous and you like retract and you're standing, and then all of a sudden at the end of the thing, you're like, what just happened? It's like, because everything just happens so fast that it's like either you have a permanent smile on your face or you're in the corner, and then so it's like, just do your homework of like, okay, I want to work with this person, I want to work with this group, I know what this person looks like, I'm going to go with the target, I'm going to go with the target of speaking to 3 people, to speaking to 2 people. And if you're nervous or have anxiety, even just one is enough and okay, because that one can rumble into something more, right? And then second, exactly what Jason said, is just be a human. Like, honestly, just have a conversation, because like, come on now. It's everyone knows why they're there. Everyone knows why they're talking. It's not like it's like a hidden secret, but it's just like, okay, we all know why we're here. Let's talk about something else. And then from there, make sure that that conversation, you're also putting yourself into it, as in like you're also adding what you do, what you are doing, but it's like talk some more, because when you talk to your friends, it's not just one topic. In a whole conversation with your friends, you skip from topic to topic to topic, right? So it's just being mindful of that, because sometimes we end up finding out we're talking too much about ourselves about nothing, and then you didn't sell yourself. So that's, yeah, what I have.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
see you next time.
Yeah, I just had a couple of little things I wanted to add to all of the great things that you guys already said. I feel like there is nothing, like nobody's ever going to be upset with you for telling them that you like their work and that you really are interested in working with them. Like even directors and artistic directors need compliments sometimes, you know, like, so I think if you genuinely like somebody's work, and then just genuinely tell them that. Like if your MO is always like, I need the job, people can sense that. So just like be a normal human. And then I think the same thing everyone already sort of said, like know who it is that you are interested in talking to. And then at that type of big gala event, also know that everybody sort of might have a lot of other people that they also want to talk to. So I would say just keep your conversations like short and sweet, and read the room. Like don't hog somebody's time, you know, because they might have a lot of other people that they also want to talk to. So just like short and sweet, be aware of everybody, be friendly to everyone, all the things. And you never know when you go to a gala that you don't think is a networking gala that might be a networking gala. So I would say always just like conduct yourself in the lovely way that you normally do, and yeah, just be a real human.
Yeah, a line that I always use and used to use when I started, I was nervous. Someone taught me this. It's like, when you're nervous, say it. And you just go like this. You just say, oh, I am so nervous. I rarely get the chance to come out because I'm always like writing or like at home. I'm a homebody, and like I'm just really nervous. So sorry. And like, oh my God, they eat that up. So it's just like, and you have to act like you are really nervous. Like if you not act, if you are nervous, say that. But like it's just saying something of like, I don't get a chance to really get out. This is new to me. And people will like be more, they'll like, okay, let me like take it down a notch with this person. And it's not, you're not playing a victim or anything. You're telling them how you're feeling instead of just like showing it in a different way, you know?
Yeah, just being honest. And like, you know, a lot of the people that you talk to are probably also feeling nervous and anxious and all the things too. So just like being a normal person. And I was going to say something, but I forget.
I think when you're like in conversation and you like know that you are someone who is bad at conversation, have an exit plan, like have like 2 or 3 lines that you know that can get you out of a conversation, that are like a nice little transition out. I think that's a good thing if you're like not a skilled networker, because then you're just like, no one loves a conversation that goes nowhere. And then you're like, bye. Have like a nice little thing, have a little, what's your moment after, you know?
And I think the other person will appreciate that, because again, it's everybody's kind of in the same boat, and you're like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to talk to all these people. And then when somebody's like, I'm gonna go get a snack now, you're like, great, okay, good. Like I didn't have to, like fantastic. And I think it can be really nerve-wracking, especially if you're like new to the community or starting out. But I would say like just go, just like start putting yourself in those places where you're going to be a part of the community, and it will start to feel easier and less stressful. And the more people you know, it'll feel more relaxing. So just do it, and don't feel like you have to talk to everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a question here that I feel like maybe Sia might be able to answer, because you kind of already touched on this. But how much research on directors slash theater companies slash actors do you do before a gala opening night or a networking opportunity? And is this different for theater versus film?
I stalk the heck out of them. I am a stalker. auntie and boyfriends. Um, can you guys still hear me? I don't. Everyone just
Yeah.
froze. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I think you're back.
Okay.
You're back. You do your
Okay.
research. Oh. See ya.
It's just me, but I'll keep going. Yeah. So basically, what I do. Oh, what's going on? Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So basically, I do, I'll go quickly so that the Wi-Fi, I don't know what's happening with my Wi-Fi today. Basically what I do is I do IMDb searches when it comes to anything acting or whatnot. I will make sure I search who that director is, who the producers are, the work that they've done, all that kind of stuff. And then for theater wise, it's like I'll search the theater company, I'll search their history, I'll try and find pictures so that I can visually put the person to it. And honestly, I'll even screenshot the pictures of who I'm talking, like of who I want to talk to and like who my targets are. I go in there loaded and just I know things, and like based on what the movies that they do or based on what theater shows that they've done, I'll like Google references so that I can like bring that up in a conversation so that when they say something I'm like, oh yeah, like this and they're like, oh wait, how did you know that? So yeah, that's just my advice.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know if my internet.
Oh, it's okay. No, we can hear you. And like just on the flip side, absolutely do your research, know who you want to talk to, know who you want to work with. But be careful of always talking to the most important person in the room, because you never know who, like I know like of a specific example. It's a married couple. One of the people in the marriage is in the business and is like quite, like doing really well. And then her husband is not in the business at all. And so whenever they go to galas, people will like kind of come up to her and be super like schmoozy and, oh, I want to talk to you. And then, there will be an opportunity for her to introduce them to her husband, who's not in the business. And he always says it's amazing how many people are like, oh, to the wife, blah, blah, blah. And then they look at him and are like, oh, you're not important to me. And again, it's just like being a real human. And yes, of course you want to talk to those people who have like had an amazing career or whatever, but like be kind to everybody, because that also goes a long way. You never know whose husband is going to talk to that important person. So be careful about always talking to the most important person in the room.
Yeah, especially their assistants. Be kind to their assistants. Be kind to anyone that's on there, because trust me, they listen to those people too. So, and they're watching your attitude, because in meetings they'll just ask the assistant and just be like, "What did you think of this person?" Right? So, yeah, just being.
Yeah, be nice to everybody. Just you never know. Be kind. Be kind. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit here. Social media. Do you use the social media to network, like promote yourself, reach out to other people? Just I know that it's, we all sort of have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the social media. So do you use it for networking? And if so, how and how is that helpful to you? And if not, just maybe like why you don't use it. And I don't know, I feel like we can probably talk about social media for a little while here. Jason.
Yeah, I have such a love-hate relationship with social media. I mean, like the main thing I use is Instagram, and I'm lucky in terms of like I feel like I have a little springboard there because I've connected with many directors because of Instagram, which is kind of funny. But I think an actor can easily get annoying on social media so quickly when talking about their work. And I think you have to find a really fine balance of showing your life and showing your work, and knowing that those are two separate things. Like you can totally be like, oh, I love being in my dressing room, cute. But like if every day I'm on there being like, I have an audition, I have an audition, I have an audition, then it's like no one cares. Show me when you book the job. So I think it's like really be careful on social media, because it can so easily be like, oh, that person's a little bit annoying and I don't think I want to work with them. So finding a good balance is quite important. I mean, everyone is always like, find balance. And like, that's hard to tell what that actually is. But just like for me, have your own rules. For me, I only post about going in an audition once every like 3 months, and that's enough for me. And then you're done. And then like, definitely post if it's like you're working on a theater show that you're really excited to be a part of. I wouldn't post every day about it, but I would post like a lovely shot by David Cooper about it. So yeah, be careful in terms of also like when you're following a director on Instagram, you don't need to be overbearing. You need to like their photo and maybe comment like once a month, but like, don't be like, oh my God, react to every story, you're so cool. Because that's just like not cute on anyone.
Yes. True. All very true. Moniz.
Okay, what do I think of that? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's great to research. Like, I can research anyone who has a blue check mark or whatever, who you want to work with, and I don't know on the other side. Like, I don't know if directors are casting or anybody on the other side who does the hiring, if they're looking at us through our Instagram, our LinkedIn, our Facebook. Like, I would love to know more about that, because then I would have more information in terms of like, what do you want us to do? Because I don't know, I use it for personal and for business. So sometimes I post photos of me going for a walk, and sometimes I show me in my costume. Yeah, do I use it to get work? No. Should I? Probably. I mean, LinkedIn. I'm getting into LinkedIn now these days for some reason. So there you go. Like, yeah.
LinkedIn. Okay. Gonna up my LinkedIn game. Sia.
Jason, I just want to say you were making me laugh with everything you were saying. I was literally like, "See, control yourself." But oh gosh, I hate social media. I get anxiety over it, because you know what it is? It's because when a new thing pops up, everyone is like, jump on it. Just like how before it was like casting workbook, casting network, actors access. And I'm like, are you serious? I bet you one person owns this, just making money off of us. It's like, you have to have this, you have to have that, you have to go there, you have to have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, like TikTok, and I'm like, that's what it sounds like in my head. Like, just, So for me, oh yeah, go ahead, Moniz.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I have recently updated my IMDb. That is one thing that I will like. That's my calling card in terms of like, I see in the back.
No,
but
100%.
Keep going.
IMDb, I took time to do it because I was just like, it costs how much money? And I'm very like business minded when it comes to how much I want to put in and how much I'm going to get in. But with social media, what I look at it as, if a director or producer wants to work with me, or a theater company wants to work with me, they can go on my social media and they can see my personality. So you don't have to ask me, because you'll see what I post there. But you can also see the past work I've done. But I also like to promote other work. So it's like a friend of mine is in like Moniz, you're in the cake. I would be like, yeah, go check this out. So that other people can see that, oh, she's actually like showing other people work and showing that she is connected in the community with other people, and you're showing love. It's not just me, right? And when it comes to like, there's social media rules. You only post one picture a day. You only post at certain times if you want the 6 o'clock time. Like, there's literally like breakdowns of like, if you do the 12 o'clock, you get these type of people. The 6 o'clock, you get everyone that's coming home. If you do the 9 a.m. post, that's everyone that's waking up. And it's just like, so you can pick all that nonsense of what you want to do. But I like that with social media. I put it on Instagram, it goes on my Facebook and Twitter. So I love that. I wish it was like that with like, if we had one page, that we post something on, it goes to your casting workbook, your actors access, your everything, instead of having to be like, okay, now update actors access, okay, now update this, you know what I mean, update IMDb. So I wish it just connected like that. But yeah, I use my social media for everything me, and you can just grasp that on there. And like when I am doing a show, every day it'll be about that show that I'll be doing, like but one picture a day, and then move forward from it.
If I can talk also about what Sia was saying, I think that's a really great thing to say about posting other people's work and sharing other people's shows and stuff like that, because when you do that, it encourages them to do that for you, and like their network all of a sudden now becomes your network, and you keep on growing and growing. So I think that's actually really important and a good thing to know, is sharing other people's work is lovely, and they get a nice thing out of it, and then you're going to get a nice thing out of it, and then your network's going to grow, and then you book that job. So it's cute.
Yeah, I love what you guys all said, and I think it's important. I think Jason sort of touched on this, to just like to think about who you are for a second and be like, okay, what do I want to put out onto my social media? You know, like it's you can Google like, how do I use my social media, and there's rules for everything, but I think you just need to feel like, okay, this is what I personally want to do. Like I think everybody sort of said, like for me, same as you guys, I like to do like a little mixture of like professional and personal, because I feel like, I guess I love my work, but I'm also a human, and I also have other things going on in my
Show
life.
that you're a human.
Yeah. But to sort of speak to what Monique was saying, like I have heard like firsthand from several people who are in casting that definitely do look at social media, 100%. So I would just like keep that in mind when you're posting personal things. I don't know, just keep it in mind. And then also, you know, if you are an amazing singer, throw a video, and you feel comfortable, like put up a video of you singing a song. Like when people are looking through your social media and they're like, oh, they see you singing that amazing song, they're going to think of you more readily when they're casting their show. And then also, like, I personally am so inspired when I see other people in the business posting like them doing their thing. Like I love that. So people are watching for sure. Paul is hovering. He has many things to say. What would you like
Paul?
You're part of the pack. Why doesn't he join the
Hi.
So social media. Paul, what do you want to say?
Here are my rules for social media. I think you teach people how to think about you. 100%. Don't be self-deprecating. It's not funny. You just be you, but be confident and do your thing. There are tons of people on social media who are self-deprecating because they don't want to seem cocky. Post what you do. Be proud of what you do. We have a friend who's like one of the most amazing singers, I think, in the country. She doesn't post videos of her singing. I don't know why. And I went to go show someone the other day her singing, but she had no videos up. It's important, I think. Your IMDb, use it. Everyone, that's how people find things. You have those 5 seconds when you look at someone's IMDb for the first time and you go, this is what, oh, this person's done this, and this. That you have to imagine your IMDb, your social media from that person's perspective. How are people thinking about you when they see it for the first time? People's attention span is like 8 seconds long. What is the first thing they see when they come up? Sell it.
Yeah, like especially if you are feeling like you want to use your social media as a networking tool, yeah, don't be shy. We all, like, I always kind of say, in a lot of ways, you kind of have to be your number one fan, because like if you're not your own cheerleader, no one else is going to volunteer to cheer you on. So you kind of have to like be confident, put yourself out there.
And I think like with exactly what Paul was saying, there's a fine line with everything. 100% be confident, put yourself out there. But like, I know, like, just don't sell something fake. Like, don't think it has to be perfect. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's just like learning what that fine line is and sticking to who you are and like being true to yourself and saying, this is who I am. It's also a great way to change how people view you. If like you were always cast as like the thingy, and you're like, that's not me anymore. I'm a loud, proud, like LGBTQ person. It's like, boom, go ahead, put there, and they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, wow, okay. I've never saw this person in this light before. Let me bring. So it's like, you have the power. You know, don't follow what Jane Doe's doing. Stay in your lane, do your own thing, because only you can do you best.
The best thing about social media is that all you have to do is be good at what you do and confident, and someone out there wants it. You just have to show it.
And also, I think sometimes actors try to fit in like this actor social media mold. And I don't think there is a good mold out there, because all of them are uninteresting and make you the same as everyone else. So like finding your own thing, being like, I really like to kayak, is like cute. Put that out there, because that's more interesting than being like, shoot for the stars, I can't wait to be on Broadway. Like no one.
If you give me a signed headshot that says shoot for the stars, buy it.
I'm gonna share it on my network.
Unless that's your brand. Unless that's your
Totally.
brand.
If that's your brand, go for that. But don't try to like be in that mold if it's not you.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing we've said in most of these panels, that like you as your own unique self is the most interesting thing you could ever put out into the world. So just do that. Just do that. Yeah. I love when I see people in the business doing cool, interesting things. I'm like, I didn't know you did that. Like,
and stop apologizing for it.
Oh my gosh, Paul!
I'm muting myself now, and I'm gonna put him in the room. It's fine. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if this is a conversation, but I think it is a conversation. But I don't know how long we want to talk about this. But also, like, social media can be, especially, I think we're all performers here, and I'm speaking personally, but I'm sure that this is the case with everybody. There are some times when social media is just not helpful, and maybe you haven't been auditioning at all, or you haven't like gotten a gig in a while, and you're scrolling through your Instagram and looking at everybody's opening night gala. Oh my God, I'm having such a great time. And I think like, that sometimes.
Oh my God, I'm gonna warn you right now, I'm gonna get emotional. Okay.
So yeah, like I think just like know that sometimes it's okay to like put the social media down for a second if you need a break, because I feel like we've all been there. I don't know if anybody wants to. Sorry, I feel like I struck a chord to you.
After I had my baby, I went on auditions, but it was just like my size wasn't what it was before. And I remember like going on social media, and today's such an emotional and like every time like seeing these moms of just like, just had my baby 2-3 months ago, back on set, just had my baby, and I'm like, you just popped the child out. Like doctors want, the minute you have a child, it's like, take it easy. Do you want to be 50 and jumping and have to pee, or walking after pee, or do you want to like exercise like the proper way and do that? And it's just like, especially having your first child, it's just so hard. And then having like, thank God my agent was amazing, and she just didn't say anything to me, but I would get annoyed. I'm like, how am I not booking these roles that I would have booked before, or whatever it was? And it was just like finding out that's a weight issue, and how you went from looking on camera or even like on stage or whatever it is. But it's just like, it's so different than having a child and like rushing to get back to that fit body and it's just like, I had to stop. I had to just stop, because it's like, this is unrealistic. Because even these fit moms, they have issues, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's not normal to get fit in a month after having your baby, or like 2 months, like, you know what I mean? Like, some people naturally snap back, and like they talk about that, like, I just naturally snap back, which is fine. But yeah, this is why I got emotional, because it was just like, it was a year of this struggle, and finally after a year I was just like, okay, Sia, you can't keep doing this. So that's where it's social media for me. I started to see the dark side of it that people talk about, because prior to that I didn't really care for the dark side. Anytime I saw someone's account who was really too fake, I was like, whatever, no. But like being in a vulnerable space after giving birth to a child, you like fall into a dark hole of like, okay, maybe I should just starve myself, and like, maybe I should try this pill or try that. So
yeah, it's just like that, the comparison is like in whatever people are dealing with, but like the comparison of social media can be so harmful sometimes. And I think you sort of said it too, that, you know, you can see somebody's social media and be like, wow, their life is so amazing. Oh my gosh, why is my life not like that? Everyone is dealing with their own things, you know, and I think just like try to remind yourself of that when you're looking at somebody's page and you're like, wow, their life is perfect or whatever it is, right? And the comparison can be evil. So sometimes just I know I've had weeks where I'm like, okay, cannot this week, just can't do it. Just not in the right place, and that's okay. Does anyone else have anything they want to speak to on that subject?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, I literally went through this like this week being like, wow, everyone is self-taping right now. I have nothing. And that was so hard on me. And that was like, I was like, why am I not getting auditions for anything? But the thing is, everyone has their really high highs and their really low lows, and that's literally every single actor. And like if all you focus on is like the really low lows, then cute. When you're gonna get to that actual audition, your mind is not gonna be in a cute place for you to succeed in that. So like for me, I was just kind of like, you know what? Cool. Let everyone do their like 8 self-tapes or whatever that they have to do this week. That's okay, because guess what? I had a really awesome like year last year, or like I had the exact same kind of week too 6 months ago. So I think you like cannot focus on that and be like, instead like, oh, I'm really happy for them that they're having a great week, because I want them to be really happy for me when I have a great week. But
100%.
yeah, but also like don't post about it because it's annoying.
Yeah, like no, like be judicial, I think. But yeah, like learning how to be happy for other people in this industry is a real thing too, because it's so competitive, and we're always, you know, wanting more, wanting the next thing. But learning how to be happy for your colleagues is important too, because like Jason said, then you want them to be happy for you when you get the part or whatever it is. Yes, Paul says they're not mutually exclusive. He's listening very intently. Moniz, do you have anything you want to say on the subject? If not, that's fine. You don't have to.
I don't think so. I think everybody spoke beautifully.
I have a question for you then. We have a question here, and it says, how about email? What to say when networking via email, how not to sound annoying? Do you have anything you can talk to me about that, Moniz?
Yeah, that's so funny. I look back on my old emails that I've sent to like theater directors. Sorry if you can hear the TV in the background. I'm too far away to change it. But I reread them and I was like, oh my God, did I sound like too desperate? Like it was, at the time I thought I was great. I was like, oh my God, hey, how's it going? It's so lovely. Like, I think it was too much. Just like when you're talking about social media in terms of like, don't post too much. I think my emails were like too much. That's me looking back. Maybe it was totally fine, but let me get to the question again. The question was, yeah, I like to start with emails. I like to try and set up like coffee dates. Like I really like to, in terms of theater, like directors or people that I want to talk to, because I think that's the best way to get to know someone's personality for real. In terms of film and TV, I actually don't know that world in terms of how do you network, like how do you send an email to, like I know the indie world, but that's just like fine. I don't know. Like I don't know how to do the film and TV networking, emailing, reaching out to the directors, all that kind of stuff. I just go through my agent that way, but I'm sure Sia or Michaela or Paul has some more like information about that. But I am totally for like emailing. If they don't want to talk to you, they just won't talk to you. And it says how not to sound annoying. I don't know. Maybe you have to go through the process of sounding annoying before. Like how would you actually know if you're annoying? If maybe don't do what I did and go like, oh my God, I love you. You're so amazing. Like maybe I think it's not annoying. I think it's genuine. Can you be genuine? Can you find like a real, like how you would talk to your friend and write that in an email? Some people say, how would you talk to your grandmother? Put that in an email if you have a grandmother, that kind of stuff. But,
Yeah. I think the same thing we said before, like people aren't going to be mad at you for being like, I like your work. And if you don't get a response, it's not because they hate you. It might just be that they're really busy right now and maybe they don't have time, but they, maybe clocked that you sent their email. You never know. So like, I feel like once you send those things out into the world, just try to like not have too much expectation about what you get back from it, but just be like, I want to reach out to this person because I really like their work and whatever, coming from like a genuine place. I would say, again, short and sweet. Nobody wants to read. Everyone's busy. No one wants to read a storybook. And I would be careful about how casual you are.
I think like know your relationship with them.
Exactly.
Match the tone that they email you with.
For
like
sure.
That's a really good rule. But if it's like a director you've worked with before and you were like, I think it's really reasonable to be like, oh my goodness, I loved working with you last time and I'm really excited to do it again. Like that's a great thing to do. But like match the tone, because if they're being all like professional and you're being like, oh my God, girl, then it's not.
Yeah, with that. During COVID, I was like, I'm going to reach out to every single Nollywood director out there. And I did it. So this is what I did. I looked at Netflix and I just emailed all of them, but I looked at Netflix and then I looked at all of Nollywood, and the directors list is like not that long. It's long, but not, Hollywood long. And a standard short, sweet email. Hi, my name is Sia Foyer. I'm from Sierra Leone, but I live in Canada. I'm an actress. I've attached my stuff here. I know you're so busy right now during COVID. Ha ha ha. So when you're free, reach out to me. Done. That's all I said. Attached my stuff. And I waited a couple of weeks and it was just like, they started to email and it was just like, and I went just like Jason, what you said, based on how they responded back to me was how I responded back to them. And then I saw that a couple of them started following me on social media because I left my social media handle on there, but I give them everything. I give them my headshot, I give them my demo reel, and I give them my social media links. And then continue the interaction. But it was short, sweet, to the point where you still leave them wanting to come back to be like, hey, I got this. Or you know what I mean? And then the ones who didn't work back to me, I waited a month and then I wrote them back again. And it was just like, oh, just watch one of your movies, which is probably a lie. But like, I love how Netflix is supporting you. Like, go Nollywood. And then after that, I did hear something back. Because it was like, oh, I saw your email. I meant to get back to you. So sorry. I got stuck in London with COVID. And I was like, see, like they have personal issues going on. But COVID was like, in that sense, I was able to like use COVID as like a little point joke here. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure. And also, I was gonna sort of talk about this, but like, thank you for segueing it so nicely. Like, have your materials ready. Like, have your package ready at any moment to then go, great, COVID's happening, nobody's doing anything. I have all of these things that I can just send to people.
And updated. Make sure it's
updated. Updated. Have like, and like, it's hard to stay on top of all of that stuff all the time. Your agent's always telling you, you need new headshots, blah, 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 blah. So just I would say like, do your absolute best. And people with demo reels, I know demos versus like theater versus films, kind of a different situation. But I think like, just use what you have, do the best with what you have something ready, and then know that, as you gain more material and more credits, it's going to get updated and more refined, but don't be afraid to put out what you have right now.
100%. And never tell someone that it's old. They do not know that. There are things, it's just like, oh, here's this little thing, just like how girls were always like, oh, this old thing. It's just like, oh, here's this here's this new thing, it wasn't too long, here you go. Like, you don't need to mention any of that stuff. And if they do bring it up, then you can be like, oh yeah, it was such a great experience, but segue it into like, but now, you know, I'm working on myself, I'm working, like, always do that. Never let someone know that you haven't worked for 6 months and you're desperate and dying for a job.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so we sort of touched on like the live in person. I think Monique sort of mentioned like reaching out to people and asking to go for coffee, or I just want to ask you guys what kind of other forms or platforms you use to network, to promote yourself, other than like the social media and the opening night gala. I don't know. Do you have any other
Inviting them to, especially for theater, inviting them to your shows, because that's kind of your live demo reel in terms of theater.
Mm-hmm. So how would you go about doing that?
Doing basically exactly what Sia did, like reaching out to these people in terms of seeing your work. But you're not always working, so the best thing to do is, for me, would be to say, hey, can we go chat? Can we go have a coffee? I would love to buy you a coffee. Like, no one says no to like a free cup of coffee. And it's a write-off for the artist. And have the thing about that though is know what you're gonna say. Like, you got to sell yourself in those things too. You can't be like, hey, so what's up? Like, you got you know what I mean? That sometimes, I mean, it's a hard learning curve, but sometimes it's okay to prepare for those meetings. That's totally fine. You can like make it sound natural, but it's totally okay to prepare to sell yourself. Meetings, coffee updates, yeah, that kind of stuff.
Doesn't this sound like dating? Like, no, all of this sounds, what do you do in that sense? Like the Tinder is the theater, and you're just like, hey, nothing's happening. You want to go grab a coffee? It's like, cool. And then it's like, yeah, think of all the bad dates you've had. Like, what went wrong with that? And then, you know, but seriously.
Make sure you match your profile. Nobody wants to go on a date with somebody who doesn't look like their profile picture.
There you go.
I love to give comps. I love giving a comp to a director or whoever is a creative person that might hire me. Because like, don't be like, hey, come to my show. By the way, it's $120 and that's for the balcony. Like, no, give them a comp. Your family can pay for it. And just like, that's a really lovely way. I love that, Monies. I think also like, have your ear to the ground, and if there's like a role that you really want, be like, hey, I read the script for this show, I think it's incredible. Like, email them and then be like, I think it'd be really awesome for this role and I'd love to talk to you about my ideas for it if you're interested. Like, that's a great way to just like, that's how I got my role in the last show that I was in. So I don't know, directors are interested in meeting you. They are, because they want to just like know everyone in the community, but they're not going to know you if you don't put yourself out there.
I always say, no one is going to knock on your door in this industry. There are so many actors. You really need to actively immerse yourself into the community. Yeah. And again, like if you say, I'm really passionate about this role in this play, like a director is going to be responsive to that. They want people to be excited about the play and the characters that they're casting. And like for me, I never want to sound presumptive.
That's a word. Yeah.
And like you're totally going to cast me in this part, but I always just like, if I'm interested in a part, like I always just say, I would really like to be seen for this role.
Yeah.
Not like I want to play this role, like, whatever, like use your own words, but just asking to be seen is totally within your power. Sia, anyone else have any other tips, tricks? I mean, I feel like you've told us a lot about your networking strategy. I'll let you think about it. So we can kind of, if anybody who's listening has any questions that they want to ask, now is the time. And I kind of just want to open it up and ask you guys, like, for emerging artists, anybody trying to get into the business, like what advice feel like it's all things that we've already sort of said, but like, what advice would you give to people in the realm of networking who are emerging or feel uncomfortable or any of those things?
You're gonna fail. You're gonna make mistakes. Don't cry about it. Just dust yourself up and like just redo it again. You're gonna F up. Seriously, you are. Like, you're gonna either try and be too perfect and fail, or you're not gonna try hard at all and fail. Or like, yeah. So it's just like, get ready for that.
I also think though it's fun. Like I actually love doing schmoozing. Even though I don't know if anything comes out of it, but sometimes there's a free drink and some food. So like I am totally up for those events because I think that they're fun for real. And if you go in with that instead of, I mean, you're always hoping for a job or you're always hoping for something, but instead of going in there with all this pressure to like get a job, maybe it is, as Sia said, like I want to talk to one person, I want to talk to two people, or maybe it's like, you know what, maybe I can't even get to the talking stage. Maybe I want to not be in the corner. Like at this party, maybe it's like, I don't want to be in the corner. I'm going to try my best to like mingle or whatever. Like maybe you can have different goals for each interaction that you decide. Or if it's, and then emailing and like doing like sort of passive or like less,
Vulnerable.
yeah, putting yourself in less vulnerable situations. You can do that too. Creating a website, like doing all of the social media stuff are like pretty passive and they're not so like having to go and talk to somebody. So maybe you want to start there and gradually build, but also I think knowing that it's fun, like the job that we do is fun. So this part I think should also be fun, and not that you're role playing, but it is a sort of like putting on a different type of, if you're an introvert, you're putting on an extrovert type of character to enter the world. And as Sia said, you might fail or you're gonna fail, but that's all great. That's all right.
I also think that like people would much rather talk to somebody who's enjoying themselves than somebody who's just dreading being there. You know, like in any situation, even in an audition, like just try to enjoy the process, because people are always going to be more receptive to that. And then also in terms of the social media, I think it's good to have like your little circle of people. And if maybe again, like the singing video, if there's something that you maybe want to post but you're not totally sure about it, like send it to a friend or two and be like, hey, what do you think about somebody whose opinion you respect, and be like, hey, do you think I should post this? Like feel free to like lean on your friends and family too. Jason?
Yeah, I love being fun. That's such a, I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, I said it a million times, like, be real, please. And like, everyone doesn't love opening night, and that's okay. Like, most people don't. So come into that being like, you know what? Most people here are anxious, and that's really cool. And I am too. Acknowledge it and be like, cool, let's have a valuable conversation tonight and not just like a bunch of conversations. Because one valuable is so much better than 10, hi, how are you? What show you in? And then like, in terms of like social media and stuff, just like, I'd say edit. Make sure it is edited and that it is you. Don't overpost and be like, I'm trying to find me. And then like, remember that like the directors and the casting directors are like such humans too. And they're not like this weird alien thing that's like, oh, I have to say this perfect thing to you that I've like crafted over the last 2 hours in this email. Like, no, they're humans and they're going to acknowledge that you're also human. So take that and just be like, cool, I'm going to talk to you like a person. And I'm just going to like keep like my little email to like, I really love the show that you did. That's it. That's all you need to say. Any other advice? Don't make spelling errors. Oh my goodness. So many actors can't spell and it's
Grammar.
not
Tenses.
cute. Be smart on social media. That's
unless it's part of your brand.
Yeah, if your brand is being bad at spelling, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like people will appreciate you for being human.
Totally.
And don't ever exhaust yourself. I find that there's FOMO in the community of just like, I am just missing out on whatever. It's like, if you can't make that networking, like you don't know if that's where that job would have been. If the job was supposed to be there, you would be able to make it. Like seriously, not everything is in our control. Things happen for a reason at a specific time when it's supposed to happen. So don't overexhaust.
Yeah, and I think like again, with the comparison in social media, everybody's path, especially in this industry, is so different. And I think it's important with networking is to like kind of play the long game. You know, like don't go to a networking event expecting that you're gonna meet somebody and then they're gonna give you a job. Because you're gonna have this air of like desperation and like being too like job focused that is not going to be like a nice vibe to like talk to. So just like focus on the long game, focus on investing in making like real human connections with the people in the industry. And I think you'll be surprised that it will, you know, benefit you in maybe ways that you didn't necessarily expect. But I think just like, yeah, be yourself.
Yeah. There's also a level, sorry, just to add.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
A level where you can, this is for theater, so I'm not quite sure for film and TV, but you can get to the level of, hey, I found this play. I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to talk with you about it. Also, I want to be in the show. Like there's all, like you can't, there's also that level. Like I've seen it, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's, if you can do the work of an artistic director by finding a play for them, hey, why not? I don't know what that was for, but that's just like another, like it can be as micro as like, I don't know, posting on your social media or sending an email, or as macro as, hey, I have this idea, here it is. I'm going to pitch the whole thing to you.
Yeah. And like, because again, if that's just like something that you're passionate about, people are going to be interested in that. And then I think also it's hard too, but like not being offended if they say no.
Yeah.
No, you have to be able to put yourself out there and then be okay. And not, I think it's just like not having too much expectation about what you're going to get in return.
Yeah.
And just like putting yourself out there and knowing that eventually people will find it, people will like it. So just, yeah, be true to yourself, I suppose. Okay, any final comments? We are almost at time. It's been so nice chatting with you all. I really enjoyed this. Jason?
Final comments.
You have something to say?
Another form of networking is being awesome when you're doing the job. So don't stop networking while you're in the job.
Yes.
Because the other thing is make them hire you again. So that's the real one. Follow up 2 months after the show, be like, hey, I really love doing that show. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it.
And if you were great to work with, then that director is going to talk to their other director friend and be like, you know what, Jason was so awesome. If you're casting, you should consider him. That's a really important one that we're just going to say in this like final moment. Okay, so we are going to wrap up this lovely panel with these lovely humans. And next week we have 3 panels. The final 3 panels, we have one on choreography, we have one on creating new works, and then we have a very new special edition one. We're doing a panel with Bronwyn and Ashley.
Of the Arts Club.
Paradine and Ashley Corcoran.
Yes, thank you. So the artistic director and then the company manager and the assistant to the artistic director are going to be sitting down with us and chatting a little bit more about the audition process and the submission process and answering all of your questions. So check out the schedule to see the times for those, and we will see you back here next week. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Thank you guys. You were so great. Bye.
Bye.